This is an exciting day. Why is this an exciting day? Because it's mail day. I received a package this week from Mumba. Mumba is a manufacturer of various Nintendo Switch accessories, most particularly Mumba cases, and they have reached out to me and sent me 3 Nintendo Switch cases to show you guys for review and demonstration purposes, so I'm just gonna bring them all out right here and try them out. This is my first time trying them out. I'm gonna test them out for a while, play games with them, you know, the usual stuff that I do when it comes to testing out stuff for review, and I'm gonna tell you guys what I think about it. So let's start off with opening these bad boys up. So first I'm gonna bring out this little boy that... What did I just say? So first we have the hybrid protective case, which is a slim version. It comes in different colors. There's black, there's blue, I think, there's like a green. I have the pink one here, which I requested because I like how it looks the most, especially with the portly colors. It's gonna go on my Switch here with the neon blue Joy-Con, so it's all just a theme. It's all branding. It's all gonna go really well together. It actually comes with installation instructions, which is actually more important than you might think when it comes to installing cases on your Switch or even your phone. You just don't want to break anything, so do it correctly. So we got the top here, you gotta go bottom in first, and then you just securely, snugly press it into the corners, and that actually went on pretty easy. This actually feels pretty good. I'm used to using a lot of Nintendo Switch grips that have like handles on them that add a lot of bulk to the Switch, especially if you're traveling and you don't have a special case made for that bulky grip. It's gonna be hard to take it on the go in a case. But just with my first impressions holding this grip on my Nintendo Switch, it adds a pretty decent amount of grip without really adding bulk. Like it already feels better than holding just a Nintendo Switch because you do have the grippy back, which is similar to like a phone case like the Spec grip cases, which a lot of people have used for years on iPhones and whatnot. Same idea here, it has these rubberized lines to sort of give you an extra grip so that the Switch doesn't really fall out of your hand as easily if you were just playing without any grip at all. It's going to add a little bit of protection if you drop it, but you know, just don't drop your Switch. Be very careful with your Switch. Especially right now, these things are still hard to find. It really has all the openings you'll need, the heat vent, the card, and the headphone slot. The only thing is it doesn't have an opening for the kickstand in the back, so if you plan to use this, you rely on your kickstand, you're really going to probably want to look for a different case. The buttons on top are responsive, not clicky or anything, adds a little bit of firmness, a little bit more difficulty pressing in, but I have used cases that are much worse for that. But so far, from what I can tell, just testing this out, it's not turning off on me or registering any weird unintended button presses. Now I just want to sit here and play this. This feels nice. If you're going to play a game that doesn't really rely on the right thumbstick, like a 2D platformer or something where you really just need one thumbstick and the buttons here, this is perfectly fine and adequate for that kind of game. Even Animal Crossing, where you just really don't use this all that much, this works great and it's comfortable. I can see myself playing on this for a while. But if you do need a little bit more grip, that's where the next 2 cases come in. Just gonna pop this off here. It's a little difficile. I'm afraid to break anything. Having a little bit of difficulty. Okay, we're in business. We got it off. Next, we have the rugged hybrid protective case, which is, as it sounds, a more rugged case that is more protective of the Switch. From our fam to yours, thank you. No, Mumba, thank you. And this definitely has a different look and feel already. Whereas this kind of looks like a phone case, this looks like something out of like Mass Effect. It's got like these little etched designs in there, which, you know, I'm not like a huge fan of these kinds of designs when it comes to electronics or what have you, but I gotta say, the amount of detail that they put on this thing, which is just a Switch case, it's impressive. It even has like these little accents printed onto the clear plastic on the back, some sort of carbon fiber looking designs on the grips. It adds a little bit of texture actually, which helps you hold on to the grip. So we're gonna pop this thing onto the Switch. Make sure to follow the instruction card. They put it in there for a reason, folks. Don't be a rebel. So similar concept to the other grip. You want to put this bottom in first and press it in, and that goes on pretty quick, pretty nice. That was like really easy. And I don't quite know how I feel about this one just yet. It does feel a little weird that the corners here sort of jut in. Jut? Is that a word? They poke into your palms. They're the palm pokers. It doesn't feel uncomfortable, but I don't know how that would feel after a long time of playing. First impressions are all right. Like, it doesn't add a lot of bulk It adds more bulk than the other case, obviously, but compared to cases like the Satisfy grip or the Skull & Co., the handles in the back here are very minimal, but effective, and it actually feels pretty okay even using the right thumbstick. I could see myself playing, like, I don't know, Overwatch or something. I don't even have any, like, first-person shooters on this thing, but I could see myself trying something out where I do have to use the thumbstick more. Same cutouts as before, the game card slot, the headphone slot, and the vent. The button here on top, it feels a little bit stiffer on the volume button. Power button seems fine, but the volume rocker hardly feels like a rocker. When I'm pressing the left button, it feels stiff. When I press the volume up, I can feel it and it feels a little clicky, a little tactile, but when I press the volume down, it feels like it's not pressing. It is, I can see the volume changing on screen. Not a bad thing, it's just it throws me off, it's a little unexpected. Now the cool thing about this case, and one of the reasons that I wanted to test it out, was because of the dockability. Is that a word? Probably now. So you'll notice that in addition to the USB-C port on the bottom, which is needed for charging, it also has these two connector ports for the Nintendo Switch dock, and you'll notice that the back here, though it is protected by a thinner layer of plastic, it is very slim because this is a dockable case. Playing a lot of RPGs like Final Fantasy XII and Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, I like to go back and forth between docked and handheld on both those games, so to be able to do so really quickly without having to take a grip on and off, which gets kind of annoying and even kind of can potentially scratch the Switch by doing it back and forth over and over. Being able to keep on one grip that you can use in handheld and docked mode is very helpful. Just gonna awkwardly reach over and test out the dockability right now. Okay, I'm gonna keep messing around with that, but first impressions are it does not seem to be docking, and it's kind of scaring me. There's like a clicking sound I've never heard my dock make. Apparently the connector inside is retractable, which I never knew. It's not breaking anything, it just kind of threw me off and I thought something did break, but it's fine, I checked. But yeah, this thing is supposed to be dockable. I'm gonna test it out off camera and let you guys know at the end if I was able to dock it and how well it worked. It fit in the dock, but it's just not quite making that connection that you need to make for it to be docked and show up on your TV and charge. So we'll test that out. But say you're not worried about docking. Maybe you can't dock your Switch at all because you have a Switch Lite. Well, luckily, Mumba makes plenty of accessories for the Switch Lite, including a rugged hybrid protective case like the one that I just showed you for the Switch Lite. This is kind of adorable seeing it next to the bigger one. It's like the exact same thing but smaller. It almost looks like a miniature. Same cutouts minus the connectors in the bottom, which the Switch Lite doesn't have or need. Same grippy carbon fiber on the handles. This is pretty comfortable actually. It feels like it still pokes into your palms, but I could see using this, especially on the Switch Lite because it's smaller. The Switch Lite's just more comfortable, man. Why couldn't we get a dockable Switch Lite? So here they are. This is the big one, and this is the small boy. And as you can see, it's like literally just a small version of this one. I don't know what else I expected. It makes sense. All right, so I'm gonna be testing these out. I'm gonna probably have the wife test this one out for a bit. It'll be about a week from now for me, but only about a second from now for you. Okay, so it has been about a week, give or take, since I filmed the opening portion of this video that you guys just watched, and I feel like it's been long enough. These have left enough of an impression on me that I am able to tell you guys what I think about these cases. I am going to focus mostly on the rugged case and the slim case for the regular Nintendo Switch, mostly because the Nintendo Switch Lite version of this one is the same thing but smaller, so really anything I say about this you can apply to the other one minus the docking portion, which I'll get to in a moment. As for the slim case, I don't have a lot to say that I didn't already say in my initial impressions. I do think I prefer this case because it is kind of nice to have a little bit of extra grip and a little bit of extra bulk on your Switch without actually adding huge controller style handles onto the Switch like most cases do nowadays. I love those kinds of cases and I do like this case, but I don't know, it just feels a little bit more like you're using the Switch as is intended, minus, you know, just being a little bit too slim and a little bit too slippery. This is just right if you don't really want a bulky case and you want something you can take on the go without having to buy a huge carrying case. This can easily fit on your Switch and slide into a slimmer travel bag without having to bring a bulky suitcase. The one thing I have against it though is that it is pretty difficult to take the case off. Considering this one is not dockable, if you are going to be docking your Switch, you're going to have to take the case off pretty regularly, so the fact that it's fairly difficult, especially in comparison to the other cases here, it's a little bit disappointing. I just wish that one thing was a little bit better, but really, I don't have many complaints about this at all. If you're worried that the grippy texture is gonna get sticky and gross, it might. but not bad. It's not like a sticky rubber texture. It's just like a TPU plastic. If you've used like most TPU phone cases these days, does your phone get sticky and gross? Probably not. If so, it's probably not the case so much as it is you. Now for the rugged case. I don't mind this case at all. I do like it. It is comfortable. If you've ever seen the JetTech grip case, this is definitely better than that. I do prefer for cases that have these little grip handles in the back to have bigger ones. Like if you're gonna have the handles on the case, make it bigger, commit, you know. I know that probably goes against what I just said I liked about the slimmer case, but I don't know, it's kind of got to be an all or nothing sort of situation in my opinion. But that's just my personal preference. For what this is still comfortable. While these corners poking into my palms was a little off-putting and a little unexpected when I first tried this out, it wasn't a problem. I didn't even notice it after a while. It was just no other case I've ever held does that, so it was like, oh, this is different. In fact, I kind of feel like it makes up a little bit for how shallow the grips are in comparison to something like the Skull & Co. or Satisfy, but I do like that I am able to hold on securely here with my finger in the back. One of my main complaints with the Satisfy grip, and one of the reasons that I've actually kind of stopped using Satisfy grips, is because it's kind of too big. It's too bulky in your hand, and so it starts to hurt. At least for me, kind of aggravates a little bit of that RSI, a little carpal tunnel syndrome kind of thing going on. This really didn't do that. So while this may not be the most comfortable case, it is stylish and it is going to get the job done of protecting your Switch a little bit more and adding some grip. Now, one problem I had with the initial impressions of this case was the dockability, and it is dockable. I did manage to get it to work. It turned out all I really needed to do was kind of press it down a little bit more and it worked. It's just, you know, wasn't used to that. No case is going to be as simple and straightforward as just docking the Switch without a case. So, you know, any dockable case you might buy is going to take a little bit of adjusting and getting used to and making sure that you've got it seated in there. This one just took a little bit more doing, a little bit more pressure, but I was able to get it to work and it was perfectly fine. And then taking it out is no problem at all. After at least the shock of that first impression, I was never again afraid that this was going to break the dock or break the Switch or get stuck in the dock. That all being said, I definitely do like the rugged case, but I just kind of prefer the slim case. All just for the reasons I mentioned earlier. It's a nice breath of fresh air to have a slimmer case that doesn't add handles or grips onto the Switch. I've actually always bought Switch grips that add handles onto it and never have tried one that does not. So having that little bit, that millimeter or two of extra bulk, you wouldn't think it would make that much of a difference, but it really does. It's that perfect amount of bulk to accommodate for the shortcomings of the natural, normal stock size of the Joy-Con. So that is it. This is 3 different cases from Mumba out of many others that they make. These do come in various color options, which you can check out in the link in the description below, as well as some of their other cases and even carrying cases that you can put your Switch in to take on the go. They've got all kinds of other accessories, which I definitely recommend you guys check out. These are pretty affordable. They have cases that range in all kinds of different shapes and sizes, ranging from $10 to $20, and even their thick protective travel cases are only like $25. It's really not bad, especially in comparison to companies like Satisfy, which are like way up there in price sometimes. With Satisfy, you're looking at least $25 just for the grip. If you want a case included, that's going upwards of $60. That's a new game. If you want to see more of their cases and more that Mumba has to offer, definitely check Mumba out on Facebook at facebook.com/Mumba Products. This video is not sponsored, by the way. I am not paid to say any of that. They just asked that I would let you guys know about their Facebook page. Check it out. They offer customer support directly there. They do giveaways all the time, and they're very friendly and communicative and helpful. So if you guys ever need help with any of their products, hit them up on Facebook and let them know, and tell them the Portly Gamer sent you. Or maybe don't, they won't know what you're talking about. Thank you guys for watching, and if you like this video, you can check this one out on the Oivo grip that I've reviewed in the past, and maybe you want to check out some Switch games, so you can check out this one, which is on some new Switch games that are not new anymore, because this video is a little bit old. But more Switch game videos coming. I've got game videos in the works. It's just got a lot of catching up to do on these tech reviews. I'm out of here for now. Bye-bye.